Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guest today is Steve Shanley, who drops by on a weekly basis during the summer to talk about what's going on with the weekly shows for the Cedar Rapids Municipal Band. Steve, welcome.
Thanks, Dennis. Yeah, week 5, we're about halfway through.
Yeah, unbelievable. This is a big week for the Muni Band because it is what encompasses the 4th of July, so that means patriotic program.
All the patriotic favorites and the Cedar Rapids Concert Chorale with Jerry Kreitzer, they're coming back to join us as well.
And this is it's like a Christmas concert, you know, and I talked to Hankowich when we're headed into holiday spectacular season about how to keep this fairly limited library of appropriate music for this time of year fresh.
Yeah, Tim and I have talked about that a lot too. It's kind of similar to the discussion we had a few weeks ago about the march style and how that works, because you are really constrained to do, the audience expects certain things, and there are really only so many ways to kind of organize that in a way that delivers them what they want while also keeping it fresh. And also, as Tim and I have talked about, making sure the musicians do not mutiny. Like, they're paid, they're pros, but at the same time, like, okay, really? Do we have to play Sleigh Ride again? Or
you want to keep them interested.
Got to keep them kind of interested and happy. So yeah, in a way, it's one of my favorite weeks to program because I open up the Word document and I'm like, all right, well, half of it's already done for me. So, we're going to close with Battle Hymn of the Republic with the Concert Chorale. We're going to have them sing America the Beautiful. We'll honor the service members. Although I am excited, last summer we did a brand new service song medley that included the Space Force.
That's right.
So that kind of kept everybody on the edge of their seat a little bit, since that one doesn't play itself quite yet. So we'll be in year 2 of that. But yeah, and then typically I kind of try to find three other selections really to pair with what everybody is coming to expect. Something from film and something jazz related, and then a piece that is what we kind of refer to as a war horse or a classic in the concert band repertoire that was composed by an American. So this week, that selection is Chester by William Schumann. So not Robert Schumann, not the German Schumann, but William Schumann, who was a 20th century American composer. And Chester it's from his suite called New England Triptych, and it's kind of it's appropriate this week with the Revolutionary War and all of that type of material. So you'll hear the piccolo and the fifes but it also has a very very dense and different kind of harmonic language. So one thing that I think is great about that piece is the musicians and maybe people who have some training in music theory, they appreciate that it is pretty complex, but then also if you don't have that training, you can kind of sit back and be like, oh, that's a really nice, pretty chorale there. Or, oh, I understand, we're probably marching along right now. It's still pretty easy to follow. So excited about that. And that one, Heidi Haney, our personnel manager, wanted us to save and use this year because her dad, who played euphonium in the band for a long time, his name was Chester. And so, and being patriotic and his name was Chester, of course, that was going to be one of his favorite municipal band pieces to play. So I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago, she said, all right, if you're thinking about playing Chester, can you please hold off until 2026. So we're going to honor him with that performance. And then film music, that one's usually pretty easy. I pretty much almost always go to John Williams, something John Williams related. Hard to argue if there was an American film composer of greater importance than John Williams. And so we've got the Raiders March from Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is always fun for us to play.
And a movie where we beat the Nazis. So
yeah, that's a good point. I did. All right, thanks. I got to work that into my program notes. That's a good call.
Or actually, actually a supernatural being beat the Nazis, I guess, now that I think about it. But
with America on its side,
That's right.
The supernatural. I mean, they needed the supernatural power. Did need Indiana Jones
That's
really
right.
to kind of help bring it all together.
He clocks a few Nazis along the way.
Yes, he does. And then jazz selection. Last week we played some Duke Ellington, and then I think arguably maybe the other big name in American big band, especially in terms of longevity, would be the Count Basie Band. So we've got a medley featuring some of that as well.
So a great way to celebrate America's 250th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
July 1st will be the Wednesday concert, and that'll be still at Kingston Yard.
That one, we are keeping our partnership with Hiawatha. We have been playing.
That's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
We've been playing at Guthridge Park now for many, many years, and it's been a really nice location for us in that regard, and we love to go play for the people of Hiawatha, and it's really nice parking, great place for us to play there. So Wednesday at Guthridge Park at 7:30 in Hiawatha, and then Sunday 7:30 at Bever Park.
Okay. And you're also keeping busy these last few weeks because this is also the weekend of the Iowa City Jazz Festival. Of course, we're hip deep in that and looking forward to a great weekend. But you help once again this year with the North Corridor Band that helps lead off the festival on Saturday, the great combination or conglomeration of all the high schools.
Yes, and I'm excited. Last year we revived the big band component of it, and the COVID pandemic, we kind of switched to the small group format, and then I think the festival organizers and sound folks and everybody were like, hey, that's way easier, let's keep it kind of as a smaller thing, and we did that for a while, and then brought back the big band last year
to great acclaim,
and really like the audience just loved it so much, and you and I talked and we're like, yeah, maybe it's just kind of worth having that. And
we get more kids involved that way.
Exactly. That's really the main thing. More students involved, more schools involved. And one of the things that I kind of forgot about is that this is one of the ways that those students from the other schools get to know one another. And, I was thinking just a couple weeks ago, I was playing a gig that Ed East put together, and subbing in the group for Jim Dreyer that week was Chris Jensen on drums, who was in one of those very first North Corridor bands as a Xavier student. And I was thinking about the students that he was in that band with, and how, some of them are still making music together. And so getting more students involved and getting them that chance to play alongside one another, especially when they're from different schools, it creates some relationships that can last a while. So excited to bring that back again, and my thanks to the Jazz Festival for figuring out a way to make that work. I guess that's mostly Alex's headache.
Alex Body is the one who has to make sure the stage is ready for for not one but two big bands, one right after the other.
And for the record, Alex has never complained about that. He's always been, well, not to me anyway. So he's been great in helping us make that happen.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a good time. And this year, I think, is going to be the widest sort of geographical expanse of the North Corridor Band, because we've got bass player Beckett, former jazz camper, all the way up in Waverly. And then we've got players from Independence and also Lisbon, and then also the Cedar Rapids area as well. So I think this is maybe the most spread out we've been. I'm really excited about that part as well.
That's excellent. We really cover all aspects of the corridor between the North Corridor Band and then the United Jazz Ensemble, which is the southern schools, the Johnson County area schools. So really get a lot of students involved. And of course, we brought back the youth stage this year as well, so we're going to have some high school bands, some high school smaller combos performing. So another side benefit of moving to big bands on the main stage after doing smaller combos for a few years, that opens up the opportunity for us to have some small combos on the youth stage.
Yeah, for sure.
Without duplicating
and that's
too much.
Certainly a different type of playing that those students need to learn how to do as well. And so, best of both worlds this way.
So Muni Band once again in concert Wednesday and Sunday this week. Don't forget the location change. Guthridge Park for the Wednesday concert, and you said Bever for Sunday.
Yep.
And of course, come join us at the Iowa City Jazz Festival for the high school bands, and of course all the other great nationally known musicians, Artemis Howard Levy, Gabrielle Espinoza. What a great time we're going to have.
Yeah. I just, again, like if you live around here and complain that there's nothing to do or see, I think you're actively going out of your way to put your head in the sand.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
You're not paying enough attention. Talk to you next week, Steve.
Thanks, Dennis.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:30, on demand at kcck.org/culture, or subscribe using your favorite podcast player. Watch our videos on the KCCK Facebook and YouTube channels. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. The Culture Crawl theme is composed by Vivian Shanley. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.